Contrary to the Constitution of the Russian Federation, the number of criminal anti-human acts against people and citizens of the Russian Federation, which I bring to your attention in the following text, may be shocking, but nevertheless these are real acts that take place at the present time. Unfortunately, you have to write very concisely, thereby losing the understanding of what happened and what is happening. I ask you to ensure the safety of my life and my relatives, as well as those close to me. From robberies of banditry by an organized community of werewolves in uniform acting by prior agreement as part of the OPS in the city of Tuapse, Krasnodar Territory, Russia. Conduct a detailed investigation and annul the falsified cases against me, bring to legal account criminal associations, including authorized servants of the people, who committed criminal acts against humanity, citizens of the Russian Federation and, as a result, against the Constitution of the Russian Federation. Return me my material possessions and compensate for the damage caused by the bandits. Unfortunately, 2023 years to date, criminal communities are being organized in the Russian Federation by prior agreement in the person of employees of state structures with abuse of official authority, who are unsupervised in organizing violent crimes against citizens of the Russian Federation, which was done against us, intentional commission of crimes by an organized group of persons in prior collusion with kidnapping, extortion of material resources, threats to kill and cause serious harm to health, banditry with robberies, genocide, passing deliberately unjust sentences, decisions or other judicial acts, falsification of evidence and results of operational search activities, illegal detentions, illegal detention and detention of M in custody, coercion to give false testimony against themselves and their relatives, werewolves in uniform say what testimony they need, bringing an obviously innocent person to criminal responsibility, threats and violent actions in connection with the implementation of non-justice, negligence, robbery, violation of the right to freedom of conscience and religious beliefs, intentional infliction of serious harm to health with beatings and tortures, failure to provide assistance to a patient, illegal deprivation of liberty, illegal hospitalization in a medical organization that provides psychiatric care in an inpatient setting, slander, violation of the equality of human and civil rights and freedoms, violation of the secrecy of correspondence and telephone conversations, postal, telegraph or other messages, perjury, abuse of official authority, forgery, slander, fraud, and many other acts as part of a trust fund for personal gain. Organs of the Prosecutor's Office, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the FSB, the courts and the highest supervisory authorities are completely inactive, showing negligence, and possibly are complicit in such gangs, organized criminal communities, thereby unleashing lawlessness and arbitrariness in the Russian Federation. I, a citizen of the Russian Federation, together with a citizen of the Russian Federation, have planned a tourist trip to the Black Sea coast. April 19, 2023. According to our tickets, we left in a tourist package with a transfer through the city of Krasnodar to the city of Tuapse, Krasnodar Territory, Russia. We arrived in the city of Tuapse on April 20, 2023 at approximately 16:20 time, having built a route to the Black Sea coast and taking food from the nearest store along the way. We went along the route. After leaving the city at about 17:30 on the Black Sea coast and walking a short distance, a police car signaled us from behind. After getting out of the car in an inadequate state to us and mumbling indistinctly without introducing themselves, we were asked in a rough form for identity documents. Questions about the reasons for stopping were ignored by previously unknown people in the form of police officers, as well as comments not to keep identity passports of Russian citizens in the open rain, which later led to citizens' documents. The Russian Federation is completely unusable. The police officers went with their passports to the second car, where, according to them, an FSB major and a criminal investigation officer were sitting. Further, the police officers demanded in rough form the IMEI of their personal phones with the words that they were checking and releasing "we are free." As a result, we are informed that our documents are forged and it is necessary to go on demand to the OMBD in accordance with Operation Anaconda. To get acquainted with stop/orders/decrees/administrative documents also ignored us. Without allowing us to make a call, after conducting a search of us and our personal belongings without witnesses and drawing up a protocol of inspection on the Black Sea coast. A police car accompanied by a civilian car took us to the OMBD building in Tuapse, where they conducted another search without witnesses and drawing up a protocol and told us to take fingerprints, which we did not see and they refused. The refusal to take fingerprints was met with a flurry of threats from the police. We were informed that now everything will be very bad for us. By disconnecting from a friend. An unknown person in civilian clothes ran up to me, introduced himself as Jaeger and told me to follow him. Led me to a building with a signed prosecutor's office, where on the 3rd floor there were about 6 men, in a room, in civilian clothes, who from the threshold of the room began to threaten life and health, sexually abuse the feelings of a believer, obscenely express slander and lies against me. Genocide of my race, demonstrate stun guns and weapons, causing me mental suffering, ask about my movable and immovable property, how much CASH and non-CASH funds I have with me and my relatives. Report illegal detention and detention/illegal incarceration in a prison with criminal scumbags in one cell. Everything depends on me reported hinting at material monetary payments to bandits, also snatching my personal phone from my hands. Making death threats or causing serious harm to my health, also taking possession of the password violating the secrets of correspondence, telephone conversations, mail, telegraph or other messages, gained access to my personal data. Electronic money accounts. The men of the prosecutor's office building did not want to introduce themselves, and such questions were only answered with threats to my life. The request to give a call was ignored by the bandits, as well as to inform our relatives/employer about our location. Violating the rights to freedom of religion and religion, forcing me to give evidence, involving an obviously innocent person under threats of murder or causing particularly serious harm to health, as well as taking possession of my personal phone and password to it with money accounts. Holding me in the OMBD, I was taken to the duty station of the OMBD in Tuapse, where I met a friend, told illegal actions by bandits by prior agreement of an organized group of people abusing and exceeding their official powers. He found himself in an identical situation with his words. We realized that we were abducted and illegally detained with psychological injuries and death threats. A man in the uniform of the police informed us about the falsification of evidence and illegal imprisonment of us, that a team came from above and we are helpless here, since the entire Tuapse region is in their power. I asked them to write an application, and after filling it out, I gave it to Vladimir, where I described what was happening. On the right of a phone call, the lawyer was refused and ignored. Violating the constitutional rights of a citizen of the Russian Federation, torturing us psychologically and physically for falsifying cases, they perjured themselves by producing honey. Examinations, searches and seizure of personal material values and things without witnesses. We were illegally detained before the trial in isolation, abusing and exceeding our official powers by prior agreement of an organized group of persons. At the trial, a deliberately unjust sentence/decision of 10 days of illegal imprisonment in prison was handed down to everyone. The prison is a concentration camp, a damp, very dark basement with mold on the walls and an unsanitary environment causing especially serious harm to health. The patient was also not treated. I received endless requests to the warders for the arrival of doctors, and it was also very cold. There was no air to breathe. From prison food, I vomited, developed abdominal cramps, dizziness, headaches, darkening of the eyes, weakness, nausea, bloated stomach. Had diarrhea. Without the lack of light became poor eyesight. During 10 days in prison, unidentified persons who positioned themselves as FSB officers took me to their homes to compel me to give false testimony against themselves and their relatives, where they imposed ideas against the Russian Federation, made death threats or causing particularly serious harm to my health, committed genocide based on my nationality, sexual insults, Insults. They robbed me of the feelings of a believer. Robbed me of the territory of the OMBD and forced me to give evidence by beating/torturing/threatening to kill me and my friend, as well as threats to deprive me of my citizenship of the Russian Federation, where bandits also threatened me with firearms, fired shots, talked about dismembering my body into packages, tortured me with electric shock, blows to the body with a wooden object and with their own hands, many other things related to the loss of my life and health. Forced to give false testimony on the detector under death threats and psychological pressure. Unknown people from the building of the prosecutor's office expressed their arrogance and self-assertion by abusing and exceeding their official powers, which they clearly demonstrated, and also reported that our lives were in their hands and they would do whatever they wanted based on the main questions of an organized group of bandits in the form of werewolves in uniform acting in prior collusion with exceeding their official powers, values and material resources of our relatives. At the end of 10 days, 2 unknown men met me at the prison gates and told me that they would come with me to pick up my personal phone, which was still in the possession of unknown FSB officers from the organized group of OPS persons. As a result, 2 people in civilian clothes abusing and exceeding their official powers from the OMBD building took me for a ride around the city of Tuapse, brought me back to the OMBD building, where they put psychological pressure on me and threatened my life with murder, handed me a second falsified protocol on an administrative offense. Illegal detention led to another illegal imprisonment with violation of equal rights and freedoms of a person and citizen of the Russian Federation, as in the first illegal deprivation of liberty with intentional infliction of particularly serious harm to health, as well as violation of the right to freedom of conscience and religion. At that time I was very ill with a temperature of 38 degrees Celsius, the doctors refused to be hospitalized at the request of the hospital, and my digestion did not digest food in prison. The torture and failure to help the patient continued. My friend's situation was identical. On the last day of the term, an alleged FSB officer appeared, took our fingerprints and took photos, and with a grin and contempt informed us that we were here for a long time. Coming out to the prison gates after 20 days of abduction by bandits and illegal imprisonment, they also met 2 people in civilian clothes and told them that it was necessary to go to the FSB officers, led them around the courtyards of the city of Tuapse, and also brought them to the building of the OMBD in Tuapse, where they fabricated the third false protocol by prior agreement official powers. Illegal detention and detention against the Constitution of the Russian Federation was carried out for the 3rd time. All copies of the decisions of the Tuapse City Court of the Krasnodar Territory were stolen in prison. In the third 10 days, I was already in the same prison cell with a friend, where after 20 days he began to slowly eat food. He was taken out of the cell and returned in severe beatings and mentally broken. He could not talk and was psychologically depressed. At the end of the term of 30 days in 3 falsified cases of illegal deprivation of liberty with deliberate infliction of particularly serious harm to health and the imposition of deliberately unjust sentences violating the equality of rights and freedoms of a citizen of the Russian Federation. Werewolves in uniform organized by a group of individuals in prior collusion with abuse of official authority, deliberately torturing and illegally depriving us of our freedom. One after another consistently falsified cases using deliberately false information, slander, lies and endless other things. Case number 5-113/2023. UIN 23 RS0054-01-2023-000753-44. Start date April 21, 2023. Review date, April 21, 2023. Court, Tuapse City Court of Krasnodar Krai. Judge, Milanchuk Igor Vladimirovich. Case number, 5-118/2023. UIN, 23 RS0054-01-2023-000787-39. Start date, February 5, 2023. Review date, February 5, 2023. Court, Tuapse City Court of Krasnodar Krai. Referee, Albakova Dina Yusupovna. Case number, 5-127/2023. UIN, 23 RS0054-01-2023-000851-41. Start date, November 5, 2023. Review date, November 5, 2023. Court, Tuapse City Court of Krasnodar Krai. Judge, Zeldakova Victoria Pavlovna. I have not yet found data on the fourth case related to illegal hospitalization in a medical organization that provides psychiatric care in an inpatient setting. All copies of illegal decisions were stolen from me in prison. 2 men in police uniforms appeared in the prison and called one of them in for questioning. I was informed that a one-time payment for everyone's freedom in the amount of 5 million rubles is required. Or in the future, we will face illegal hospitalization in a medical organization that provides psychiatric care in an inpatient setting. Our material possessions and personal belongings remained in prison. The estimated cost of our material assets is around 500,000 rubles. My stuff. 1. Special sleeping bag, no. SPM 1C1-11, C0016. 8465-01-591-95 worth 100,000 rubles. 2. Huawei Honor 20 phone ROM, 128 GB RAM, 6 GB model YAL-L21 plus 2 SIM cards worth 40,000 rubles. Color, midnight black. Production date, November 19. EMEI 1, 8698-1904-043-6506. EMEI 2, 8698-1904-046-0514. S/N, Nexidum 19 B23002796. Made in China. 3. Power bank equals 9,000 rubles. 4. A key to the door locking device and 2 EDS flash drives for the total cost. 25,000 rubles. A. Serial number 0436 B4F00037 AF97 A24B D60F 9937 73076A. B. Serial number 04 CFB6 E70037 AF11 AD4 A57 AB524 95 3 E18. C. Serial number 046 D18 E20037 AFD4 BC4 D97 BA7 B0F E5F8 ED. D. Serial number 0496 EB DB0037 AFB5 B942 B0 A815 E02 A4741. 5. Passport of a citizen of the Russian Federation. 6. SNILS. 7. Compulsory health insurance policy. 8. Flint worth 1,000 rubles. 9. Tourist shoes worth 6,500 rubles. 10. Tourist suit worth 8,500 rubles. 11. Backpack worth 7,300 rubles. 12. Shirt worth 4,700 rubles. 13. T-shirt worth 1,900 rubles. 14. DOM bank card.rf card number. 15. Cash 5,250 rubles. 16. A Panama hat worth 1,500 rubles. 17. Strelka transport card. 18. Troika transport card equals unlimited balance worth 19,500 rubles. Under threats of loss of life and forcibly, I was brought to the building of the State Budgetary Institution of HDP No. 4 at the address, Mayakovsky Street, 2, Tuapse, Krasnodar Krai. Russia. Make a phone call. I was not allowed to make a phone call, as before, as well as the right to a lawyer. To inform my relatives and employer about my location was not implemented. Illegal deliberate deprivation of my rights and freedom by prior agreement by an organized group of persons with abuse and abuse of official authority took place for another 5 days in the state budgetary institution of HDP No. 4 in violation of the Constitution of the Russian Federation and in violation of the equality of rights and freedoms of a citizen of the Russian Federation. May 24, 2023. Making official forgeries, deliberately falsifying my diagnosis by prior agreement by an organized group of persons abusing and exceeding their official powers in the Tuapse district, Krasnodar Territory, Russia. Acting Chief Doctor of the State Budgetary Institution of HDP No. 4 Ivanova Vera Mikhailovna in an inadequate state and drug intoxication perjured and slandered me in a court session, torturing me forcibly against my will. I was illegal hospitalized in a medical organization that provides psychiatric care in an inpatient setting. By passing a deliberately unjust sentence, decision or other judicial act. Acting Head of the State Medical GBUZ Institution of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, No. 4 Ivanova Vera Mikhailovna MO passport of a citizen of the Russian Federation was unlawfully stolen and unlawfully held, which personally, I did not voluntarily give up my passport, as well as my material possessions and a copy of the decision of the Tuapse City Court of the Krasnodar Territory at the address, 2 Mayakovsky Street, Tuapse, Krasnodar Territory, Russia. My friend went through the same thing. In Buzz HDP No. 4, I saw my friend seriously beaten in the form of bruises and bruises of the body. These beatings were recorded by doctors and paramedics with the notification of the acting Chief Doctor of Buzz HDP No. 4. In HDP No. 4 in Tuapse, I was visited by my mother, who reported death threats against her, as well as intentionally causing psychological harm to her health by an organized group of people with the prior agreement of the police of the OMVD in Tuapse with abuse and abuse of official authority. And she is also really aware of the fear for her life and experiencing psychological trauma at the advanced age of 73. I found out that when I was in prison, unknown scammers called my relatives and extorted money under any pretext for me. Having received a transfer in the amount of 2,000 rubles from my sister. Also, unknown scammers called my employer's office approximately May 26, 2023, with demands to transfer funds as collateral for me in a criminal case in the amount of 30,000 rubles at the first stage. I am a civil engineer of the PGS facilities of the Department of Construction of the City of Moscow. After a week of tourism, I had to return and continue building social development projects in Moscow, schools, kindergartens, interior ministry buildings, clinics, housing renovation, roads and bridges, as well as take part in the construction of objects of strategic importance in the Russian Federation. The company in which I work will cause irreparable damage and paralyze the type of activity, as well as the Department of Construction of the City of Moscow. I am one of the main officials who records the fact of completed work. The supervisory authorities of the Krasnodar Territory are negligently inactive in relation to the lawlessness of werewolves in uniform of the Tuapse district, thereby arousing suspicions of complicity in an organized group of persons under the preliminary conspiracy of the OPS with abuse and abuse of official authority in criminal acts against humanity and citizens of the Russian Federation. The Criminal Code of the Russian Federation. 1. Article 35. Commission of a crime by a group of persons by prior agreement, an organized group or a criminal community, criminal organization. 2. Article 209. Banditry. 3. Article 210. Organization of a criminal community, criminal organization, or participation in it. 4. Article 357. Genocide. 5. Article 305. Making a deliberately wrongful verdict, decision, or other judicial act. 6. Article 303. Falsification of evidence and results of operational investigative activities. 7. Article 301. Unlawful detention, remand in custody or remand in custody. 8. Article 302. Compulsion to give evidence. 9. Article 229. Bringing an obviously innocent person to criminal responsibility or illegally instituting a criminal case. 10. Article 296. Threats or acts of violence in connection with the administration of justice or the conduct of a preliminary investigation. 11. Article 293. Negligence. 12. Article 286. Abuse of office. 13. Article 285. Abuse of official authority. 14. Article 162. Robbery. 15. Article 163. Extortion. 16. Article 148. Violation of the right to freedom of conscience and religion. 17. Article 25. Crime committed intentionally. 18. Article 32. Complicity. 19. Article 111. Intentional infliction of serious harm to health. 20. Article 116. Beatings. 21. Article 117. Torture. 22. Article 118. Causing serious harm to health by negligence. 23. Article 119. Threat to kill or cause serious harm to health. 24. Article 124. Failure to provide assistance to a patient. 25. Article 126. Abduction of a person. 26. Article 127. Unlawful deprivation of liberty. 27. Article 128. Illegal hospitalization in a medical organization providing psychiatric care in an inpatient setting. 28. Article 128. Libel. 29. Article 136. Violation of the equality of human and civil rights and freedoms. 30. Article 138. Violation of the secrecy of correspondence. Telephone conversations, postal, telegraph or other communications. 31. Article 307. Perjury. 32. Article 159. Fraud. 33. Article 140. Refusal to provide information to a citizen. 34. Article 110. Driving to suicide. 35. Article 292. Official forgery. 36. Article 325. Theft or damage of documents, stamps, seals, or theft of excise stamps, special stamps, or conformity marks. 37. Article 327. Forgery, production or circulation of forged documents, state awards, stamps, seals, or blanks in the Russian Federation. Tuapse City Court of the Krasnodar Territory. Contact information. Legal address, 22, Popty Street, Tuapse, Krasnodar Territory, 352800. Phone, +7 86167, February 10, 2000. Email, sud10@mail.kuban.ru. Website. Company details. TIN/KPP, 230-805-9868. OCPO, 028635888. OGRN. OKFS, 12 Federal Property. Okogu, 1400026 System of Federal Courts of General Jurisdiction. OCOP, 30,008 District Courts, City Courts, Interdistrict Courts, District Courts. OCTMO, 0365-510-1001. Ocado, 03432000-03432 Tuapse, Cities of Regional Subordination of Krasnodar Krai. Krasnodar Krai 11. Tuapse Interdistrict Prosecutor's Office 12. Address, 352800, Krasnodar Region, Tuapse, Karl Marx Street, D3 OKPO, 0290-960-203-0045 Ocado, 0343-200-0000 OKTMO, 0365 510 1001 OCOP 30004. Department of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of the Russian Federation for the Tuapse region, located in Tuapse. OGRN 10223032777050. Dated October 25, 2002. IN/KPP 232-201-3216. 236-501001. Registration date: February 2, 1995. Legal address: 11 Mira Street, Tuapse City. Tuapse District, Krasnodar Krai, 352800. Head: Mikhail Kornienko, May 5, 2023. Main activities to ensure public order and security, 84.24, no additional activities are specified. Buzz HDP number 4. State Budgetary Healthcare Institution, Psychoneurological Dispensary No. 4-inch of the Ministry of Health of the Krasnodar Territory. Current organization: OGRN 10223032748806. TIN 232-201-4690. Checkpoint 236501001. OCPO 39752414. Registration date: April 17, 1995. Type of activity: Activities of hospital organizations. Legal address: 352,800. Krasnodar Territory, Tuapse District, Tuapse, Mayakovsky Street, 2. Business and legal form: State budgetary institutions of the constituent entities of the Russian Federation. Special tax regime. Acting Chief Physician: Ivanova Vera Mikhailovna, +7 918 483 8622. TIN 23-2203-834779. From February 13, 2018. Founder Ministry of Health of the Krasnodar Territory. Since August 17, 2007.